the beautiful and talented Sara Odez. And I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thanks for having me, Keith.
Now, for people who want to know what uncensored is, uncensored's my way of showing people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy. You think after 200 I get this right. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy to reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of disabilities or learning disabilities. But you should never give up, and you should prove to them you can still amount to something. With that being said, half hour, 45 minutes of your time. You can curse if you want to, call me an asshole for messing up your last name. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
All right. Well, let's see. You and I both went to the same school. So from Monroe Woodbury. I am currently in Brooklyn. I'm a freelance motion graphics designer. So I work for commercials and TV and music videos and stuff. Working from home these days, freelance. So that's about it these days. How about you?
And same old, I was for on a personal note, I like to apologize to you that we always passed each other in the hallways, but I always wanted to walk up to you, but I didn't have the balls to walk up to people because I had social anxiety, I had panic attacks, I have along all the other things, and I always had a fear of being rejected. And
everyone does. That's the thing. So everyone thinks they're the only one. So you're not alone.
And you did mention a couple other things that you work on. I'd like to talk to you about that during the show and after the show, if you don't mind.
Sure.
But going back to Monroe Woodbury, growing up, what can you tell us about your life growing up? Did you enjoy high school? Did you do any sports? And did you go to college? And were you a study nerd or party animal?
Oh, let's see. I was more of a, let's say I was more of a, like a music nerd than a sports person. I was in with the radio station and the AV club, and I was one of those kids. If you threw a ball at my head, it would hit me. I can't catch, so
same here.
Sports. Just kind of a weird kid. I'm sure you know. But let's see. So I graduated, and I went to RIT. It's the Rochester Institute of Technology. In Rochester, New York. Didn't stay there. Too cold. Way too cold. So I left there, took a couple of years off, and went back to school in Savannah, Georgia, the Savannah College of Art and Design. Studied motion media, and that's what I do now.
Oh, that's really cool. Don't mind me if it looks like I'm in the dark. I'm not doing that to be a dick. I have my light on next to me, and I have the windows open. And matter of fact, do you have a ghost in your apartment? Because your door does open and close automatically by itself.
Yeah, there are people in my apartment walking around making coffee. Actually, someone's going to deliver me a cup of coffee in a second. They're on the clock.
I'm not saying because that's like we were talking and hopefully the camera picked it up. The door just randomly opened and then just closed. And it's like, okay, unless you have it on an automatic stuff, and that's pretty cool, but...
Nothing that cool.
I hear you.
It's probably haunted, but that's just coffee.
Hey, at least it's how much do you charge on rent? That's a nice price.
Actually, we got a pretty good deal. I mean, it's too many rooms in Brooklyn for almost no rent. But we're not in the cool part of Brooklyn, so so it's probably ghost ridden. So
Well, like I said, I do have a lot of great ideas for you afterwards. Something to help me and you, and so I'm always looking to network with people.
yeah.
But the next thing I was got to ask you, you mentioned getting hit in the head with a ball. Yeah, I can't catch for anything. So I always say to people, okay, I'm slow, I have a learning disability. Yes, I'm retarded. but
Oh.
but if you're gonna throw me the ball, say, okay, I'm throwing you the ball now. If you throw it downwards like this, if you throw it downwards, okay, I'm gonna catch it. If you can be like, hey, think fast, it's gonna
Yeah.
hit me. And I lost count how many times. My brother did that to me. Yeah, people in school did that to me. Oh, you should have been fun. You should have been faster. What am I, freaking Spider Man? I can't reflex like that.
Yeah. That's so mean. People, come on. I don't know. Some people are just not built for flying objects. I mean, you and I both, we'd both get knocked in the head and be lying on the ground. So,
That's true. Yeah, well,
yeah.
actually, it's kind of funny you mentioned flying objects. I'm gonna mention that in a couple minutes on a news story I just saw. But
Okay.
actually, two of them. Um, but actually, the easy ones, and I'm gonna pass it back to you. Like I said, you can ask me anything you want. But
Sure.
did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not a human pyramid, girl?
No, I never got the chance to do the human pyramid. That sounds like fun, actually. I don't know if I know enough people who could stay still for that long. Hold on, it's the ghost of coffee. Thank you.
Like I said, your friends are more than welcome to be on this show. The more the better.
Yeah, no, I invited him. He's on the clock on something else. See, that's my boyfriend and partner, and we both do this kind of work. So he works from home too. So I'll be, doing one thing. He'll be doing something entirely different. I think he's out there writing emails to clients or something. So
All right.
I try.
Well, going back to the pyramid thing, I always wanted to do one, but I never got a chance to do it. Never found the right group of people, or I was always told, it's stupid, it's retarded, no one does that. Meanwhile, there's hundreds of people on YouTube from the United States, from Canada, 6-year-olds to whatever, doing it. It's like, and I couldn't do this because,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
No, it's awesome. You should. Let's see. We can round up some people from other interviews and make the human pyramid.
Hey,
And we'd have people.
if you're willing to help me, I would like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Now, going back to Monroe Woodbury, I joined. If I hesitate, I apologize.
No.
Actually, it's funny. Let's talk about Monroe Woodbury. And I mentioned a couple names to you, and then I promise I will shut up and pass it back to you.
No, hit me.
I'm gonna mention a couple names to you, but I was a part of the audio-visual department. But let's do the whole 4 years. Do you remember your 4 years?
Most of it.
Alright, so let's just do the quick rundown. I'll give you my 4 years, and we can go to yours.
Okay.
Freshman year, I hung out pretty much by myself. I had my brother's yearbook from the year before, so I had that. And I so happened to me, I didn't befriend them, they just befriended me. So if you're in still contact with them, maybe you can put a good word in for me. I became friends with Elise Brown,
Okay.
Danielle Duray.
Okay.
You were one of the people I wanted to talk to, but I always liked how you had the gothic look. I love that.
You should have said hey.
What about, there's three of them. There's Dustin,
I remember Dustin.
Kevin, and one who I really liked, but I gave her a wrong impression on me, and I apologize, was Kathleen.
Oh yeah, yeah. I still talk to a few of them. Everyone's doing pretty well.
That's great. If you can say you guys want to meet up and do a group interview, I would love that.
That'd be cool.
But don't,
Everyone's off the map these days. It's weird.
he has a lot going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we can always talk about it afterwards. But
So
like I said, I don't want to go too personal on the show. Just like to keep it as fair. But off the air, we can talk about whatever.
okay.
But see, so my freshman year was basically hanging out with Dustin, Kevin, Kathleen, A-Lace during study hall. Do you still talk to Suzanne?
Occasionally. I'm not sure where she is these days. It's funny in the digital age. You hear from people every once in a while, and like you never see them, you know. But everyone's all over the country now, so it's just weird.
It is because I'm not making fun of her or anything. I love her. She's really great. Is she really tall or really short? And the reason I mentioned that is that when I first met her, she had she was tall, and she had like color hair, and it was during study hall. So hey, you're blah blah blah's brother. Come over and play tic tac toe with me or something. Get to know us. And that's another thing my brother says. Go meet your own friends. Don't talk to my friends. And that's like, he gets crazy about that. It's like, don't talk to my friends because I don't need your shit blowing on mine. but,
That
but,
sucks.
so with Susanna, it's like, okay, she's really cute. The next week later, if I'm being a tall girl, it's a short girl. It's, hey, remember me? We played tic-tac-toe. And I'm like, you're the same person. Okay, I don't mean to sound like a dick, but you look completely different. So that threw me off. It's like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about women is you never know how tall they really are because we can throw those heels on.
No, absolutely. And now going back to AV, it's funny enough when I first joined, I first met Mr. Rowe in 2003 when I got my pass. He's like, oh God, not another blah blah blah. I can tell you why I don't give out my last name on show. Everyone knows me as Andrew, so I like to keep it like that. He's like, oh
Yeah.
no, not another blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, we had your whole family. Oh God, how many of there are you? And he
There's a
always
bunch of guys.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying there's a bunch of you guys. I'm sorry.
And
Continue.
well, Skype, if you interrupt me, it's okay. You know, it's hit and miss. But and
Yeah.
I used to sit against the wall by myself because I was antisocial. I had panic attacks. He always walked past me, and it's in my book I'm writing on. He always said to me, "Why don't you make something of yourself? Why don't you do something? Why don't you come down to AV?" And I wanted to, and I think I did towards the end. And I think I walked past you one time, and Max was there, but I was like one of those spare the moments. I snuck in, looked around, and okay, so I didn't feel like it was for me. Plus, I was failing every single class.
Oh
So,
jeez. Yeah.
so sophomore year, I went over, I joined, and again, I was still failing, but I didn't really guilt trip the teachers. I said, I have a learning disability, and I'm trying really hard. Can we make a deal? And, oh, well, what type of deal you want to make? Well, can he give you the 65s to help me pass the class? Tell you what, you show us you actually give a shit, that you're working hard, that you're not guilt tripping us, and we will help you out. And
Awesome.
Mr. O says, like, you have to get more than a 65, get the hell out of here. So at the time, this girl, Meg Kling, walked past me. It's all in my book.
Okay.
Meg Kling walks past me. I don't know if you're friends with her.
I don't know that name. Yeah.
Okay. So she walks past me, and I was biting my lip. And as soon as she saw me, hey, Keith, what's the matter? I was like, yeah, I just broke down. I started to cry. And I found a place where I can be myself. I can express myself. And now Mr. O says, I don't want you here if you're failing your classes. This is not like you know, whatever. But this is, yeah, it's a right and it's privilege. And until you have it right, I said to him, it's going to take me a long time to pass the classes. Well, that's not my problem. I guess it's going to be a long time until you be a part of it. And I just broke down because I found something I loved. Something I was passionate about was taken away. And I just sat in the hallway and I started got hysterical crying. And Meg said to Mr. O, why is he keep crying? No, he's not really crying. Kara, its assistant, came out. I'm trying to get her on the show. Noreen O'Gara said, yeah, you think we're crying. He's like, okay, Keith, we know you have a disability. This is what I'm going to do for you. Prove to me that you're not jerking me around and you can stay. But the first time I see you slack off or something or take advantage, you're banned. I said, I promise. Since then, I was in there. I became the camera guy. And I was always one. I mentioned in my interviews. Oh, Keith is here? Oh, don't tell me how. Yes, he does. Yes, the camera again. Oh, Jesus. Because I was known as the kid with the camera. I always had the camera and making stupid videos, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Mr. O had an idea doing this, and I apologized because he wanted to do an AV series, the coffee house, the talent shows. But I was in my own little bubble. I failed more. But I'm in my own little bubble, and I did make videos. I did help out at the shows. He did give me stuff like different props. So that was basically my 4th year. Let's see, junior year, I became friends with Megan McGugart, and at the end of season, almost at season 10.
Season 3.
At the end of sophomore year on OSA school, I was sitting there with Safina and Megan and Anissa, Danielle Jure, I think her name was Laura. See, girl with the bushy hair, short girl with the...
yeah.
And I asked you guys, would you be okay if I got your cell numbers, and so we can talk over the summer? Some said yes, some said no. They're like, no, yeah, we can meet up next year or whatever, not a big deal. Or I can talk to your brother, yada yada. And so I got Anissa's number and Megan's number. And at the same time, there's this AV party going on. But first it was happening, then it wasn't happening. But the truth was, it was happening. You guys didn't want me there. Could have just said that to me. So they had the party at Safina's house. I called Anissa. She said she wasn't going. Megan said she did not have a ride. She was not going. I offered her a ride. She said no thanks. And I seemed to hit it off more with her than Anissa. And she said, okay, well, maybe we can talk again over the summer and become friends. And, sure, no problem. And sounds like a dick thing, but my grandfather passed, and I needed to not say my grandfather was a dick. What I meant was, it was kind of a dick move on my part because I didn't use my grandfather's death to get sympathy. My grandfather passed and I was really upset and I didn't have anyone to talk to everyone this morning. And so I called Meg and I opened up to her and she said, well, if you ever need anything, let me know. And I felt like there was a connection. And at the same time, I don't know if you remember Jessica Flynn. She now lives in California. She was the redhead.
Oh, man. There were so many people.
So, make a long story short, I was talking to her and Megan at the same time, and I forwarded with Megan, and we talked for about 2 hours on AIM. And I used to call her Hun because, everyone else was calling me Hun. I was like, well, I have a disability. It's not sinking in. So if you guys are doing it, I suppose it's okay for me to do it too. And I called her Hun, and she flipped the fuck out.
Really?
Like, how dare you call me that? That's so disrespectful. Blah, 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 blah. And I apologize. And on my birthday, I was talking to two people. Jessica Flynn and Megan, and I called both of them Hun, and I didn't really think they were serious. Jessica Flynn laughed it off. Hey, sweetie, how are you? But Megan flipped out and called the next day. She ran around calling me a stalker, saying I'm an asshole, that I'm a low-life scumbag. So that was all of 2005. Whatever I had was ruined.
Sorry.
I don't mean to bitch to you. I apologize.
No, that's crazy.
2006, carried over, basically there was another person too. It was a teaser. I won't mention her name, but she was a bitch. She didn't like the fact, it's going back to my sophomore year now. She didn't like the fact I spent all my time in AV.
None of them like that.
So she used to call down to AV, and Mr. Earl refused to answer the phone because it used to come up saying who it was. And so I was like, okay, you don't want me to hang out here? I'm going to hang out with Mr. Simonson. And I'm going to hang out with Coach Earl, even though he's a dick. But a long story about that. Basically, I knew him since I was 4, hated me then, hates me now for whatever the reason is, constantly talks about my family, bashes my brothers, and it's kind of like ridiculous. But I can tell you after the show the type of shit he used to say. But I used to go down and hang out with Simonson. He's a great guy. So when she used to call down, say, hey, is Keith there? No, he's not. Well, he's not here. Where is he? So it's like, oh, well, I was hanging out with Mr. Simonson. So he sees to call both of them. And when both of them refused to answer the phone, she came down in person. And on that day, it was Megan, Sarah, Meg. I think you were there. Daniel Duray. Every one of us, Mike Lennon. Every one of us just sitting in the room. And she says, what is this? It's like, what are you talking about? Everyone's in a room just sitting around watching TV. What is this? And since then, she came up with this lie, and I got blamed for this. Of course, blame the kid with a learning disability. Can't blame himself. So he can't blame himself. Can't defend himself. So she came up with saying, I either change or I'm gonna report AV, and so that's when all the rules came in. And that's where the talk show. Actually, it's funny I mentioned talk show. I'll get to that in a minute. All these rules. You have to be here when you're supposed to. If you're cutting class, you're gonna be banned. But instead of taking responsibility, she said it was my fault. So that was one of the other reasons everyone hated me in AV. Plus the Megan thing.
That's not fair.
Even though it was my stupidity.
That's not too. That sounds like overreacting on her part. I don't know her, but that sounds crazy.
Yeah, and I had a learning disability, so it's like I was, and she flirted with me too, so it's just kind of like. And then, anyway, 2006 new rules. I did a phrase. Oh, you still there? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, just Skype. I just want to make sure I didn't.
Yeah, hey, sorry, it was choking.
Well, at least you're okay, right?
It's good.
So, 2006, there was new rules, and there's an AV talk show. I'm the one who came up with them. I don't give a shit what Josh Collins or any other of them said. I'm the one who came up with the talk show idea. I said to Mr. Roll, hey, you have TVs in every room. Why not do a morning show? It's all in my book, and I swear to God in my life, I came up with this. You have TVs in every room. why not do a morning show? Have people come out. You can do like high school credit, you can do college credit, whatever you want to call it. Use it. Okay, go
Yeah.
do it. It's like, well, this is how I'm still having panic attacks and social anxiety. I don't know how to do it, but go about that. However, I guess Mr. Earl liked the idea, or someone got wind of it. So that's when Josh Cohen's and Mike Wenham and whatever, Jordan Gucci. I did do an interview with him recently, if you want to see it.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
so they came up with the morning show, and I was like, that's bull. Okay, well, you came up with the morning show. Can I be part of it? It's my idea. You didn't come up with shit. It was not your idea. It was our idea. Stop trying to get your 5 minutes of fame. And so I was like, you know what? You want to start something? Let's have at it. So they had the morning show. I had the Keith Andrew show, the Keith and Andrew show, the Keith and Tony show, the Keith Andrew Extreme Power Hour, and that's how it came up to what I'm doing now. I would bash the morning show, saying I'm the one who came up with it.
Uh-huh.
So here's the part where it went from, okay, just for fun, to, okay, it crossed the line. And I promise I will stop bitching to you afterwards.
No.
The part where it crossed the line was these jackoffs created a group on MySpace. Yes, that MySpace was a big thing at the time.
Wow, that's so long ago.
It's probably still there if you look for it.
Man.
It said there's a file called "How's It Going, Keith?" And I didn't pay attention to it and it still bothers me. That's why I still think about it. It says, "How's it going, Keith?" And I'm like, okay. There's hundreds of other people named Keith. But I started to read it. I said, okay. And this is after the whole Megan bullshit. And this is like, oh, today he was fine, or today he was a little bit retarded, or he was a little this, or he's a little that. And then I saw Megan says, yeah, I forwarded what. Actually, no, someone says, if you don't like Keith, why do you mess with him? I just want to see how far it would go. I'm just having fun with him. I'm just messing with him. It's not my fault he takes it so seriously. And just shit like that. And I went to the school and says, look, you want to talk about me during school, that's fine. But when you go in my personal life, prank call in my house and make harassments about me, especially with a MySpace group directed at me, someone who's handicapped who can't defend themselves, that's where, it's crossing the line.
It's cruel. I mean, it's shitty.
No, absolutely. So basically, to sum up my 4 years, when I first started, Christine Montanaro said, she did two things that pissed me off and pissed my parents off. First day, we know your son has a disability, but we promise you, after these 4 years, he will be a functional adult. He can do whatever he wants, yada, yada, yada. Last day of school, well, I hope you gotta like retail for the rest of your life, because that's all you're gonna amount to.
Really? What?
And the part that my mom wanted to slap her in the face was, we came in after my grandfather passed away. We came in for some reason. I don't really remember what it was, but we came in to talk to her. And my mom said, my grandfather passed away. That's why, Keith was depressed and everything. She said her exact words, actually, not her words, this is what she said, or did. My grandfather passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, you're still standing here? And I looked at my mom, and my mom wanted to just punch her right in her face, because that's all he had to say. Oh, I'm sorry. And he walked away. And he walked in 2 minutes, 3 minutes walked past. And he said, oh, you're still standing here? It's like, who the fuck are you to even do that? It's like, show some sympathy. It's like, my grandfather just died, and you're just like, okay, no big deal.
Jeez. Man, you gotta wonder how some people end up in these jobs working with people when it's clear that they hate people, you know? It just doesn't make sense. Why would you spend the rest of your life putting yourself in a situation where you hate everybody and are going to be cruel to people? I just don't. That sounds wrong. I'm sorry it happened.
No, absolutely. I got one more messed up story for you, and I promise I'll pass it over to you, wrapping up my part.
Hey, hit me.
When I was working over at North Face, somehow it was either because all special ed teachers talk to each other. Um, this one guy, I won't mention his name, but he's a history teacher, but he's a jerk off. So if people know what I meant by that, you can probably look him up in the yearbook.
Yeah.
And so he came in and said, "Oh, Keith, I heard from blah, 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 you work at North Face. That's fine. I need a jacket." You know what? No. Actually, let's rewind. Basically, he was up and running up and down the classroom. He was bothering me, like my hands shake. He was constantly, like, doing this and seeing what I was doing. It's like, can you please step away? You want to be work. It's like, do you have ADD? I made a joke to him. I was like, do you have ADD or something? You're bothering me. Please just stand over there. Since then, this guy had a bug up his ass. So he found out from a teacher where I worked. He came in and says, "Hey, Keith, I know you work here. I need a jacket." You know what? I know you're inconfident, and I'm surprised this company even hired someone like you. You know, let her help me, because she seems more inconfident than you are, than finding a jacket. And I went in the back, and I was pissed. I wanted to punch the guy right in the face.
Yeah.
You ever see Empire Records?
Oh, yeah.
My boss, who I liked at the time, Joe. No, was it Joe?
Yep.
No, Andreas. His name was Andreas, but he looked like Joe. He said, he went, "Hey, go, Keith, what are you doing in the back? You're supposed to be on the shows for." It's like how he talks. And I told him, there's a guy, teacher, out there, and he's perfectly harassing me. I told him what he said to me. "Hey, pick him out for me. I put him in his place." So at that time, he came out. I was walking around. We didn't see him. And it's like, "Hey, if someone ever gives you a hard time, let me know, and I'll put him in his place for you."
That's awesome.
I miss that guy. He would say, the girls always complained about him being sexist. And he did say to me, "I know, let's have you do something in the back and see if you're capable of doing something." And I told my boss, who was my best friend at the time, wink wink, he said, you have to be easier with Keith, he's mentally challenged, he's retarded. And since then, he became my best friend. And, I would love to catch up with him. He was one of my favorite managers.
Yeah, find him. That'd probably be a great interview.
I gave you my whole rant and my snippets of my story. Now let's pass it over to you. Do you remember the best times of your life in high school and the worst times?
Oh, man. High school was kind of a blur. I remember I spent a lot of time in the radio station. The second I found that out, I spent as much time as possible there. Remember they put the cameras in, and I didn't like that, and then realized if you turn the lights off, no one could see you. So I spent a lot of time in the radio station with the lights off. But, I was just kind of a weird kid. I never really fit in properly anywhere, so I just kind of did my own thing. I was in the orchestra and involved with the, the art department. I was a senior art major or whatever they call them. So I spent as much possible time in there as I could. High school was weird. I mean, on reflection, it's super weird. I mean, especially, like, all that stuff happens, and then you graduate and you get into the real world and you look back like, that sucked. Glad that's over. You know? I remember being in high school and everyone was telling me, it's like, dude, the real world is not like this. The real world is not like this. Wait till you graduate. And I was like, there's no way. And then graduated and was like, yeah, the real world is not like that. This is awesome. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you had a similar experience. It's people will give you a lot of hell for being, weird or different when you're kids and you're all stuck together and have no choice. But once you get out of there and find people who are into the same kind of things, I found it was revolutionary. It was like, oh, like, yeah, I'm weird, but there are other weirdos too. Let's make stuff, So that was good.
I always said to my dad, he worked in a public school. He worked in the Bronx for 46 years. And I said, I always wished I went to your school because, it's like, oh, you're saying that's an all-black school. Even if that was the case, there's people from different races, like Monroe Woodbury, but it was a different vibe to it. It was a city vibe. And, you have blacks, whites, Spanish, whatever. And it teaches you how to interact with each other and respect each other's races. And Monroe Woodbury really frowned upon that. And every like the A4 had their jocks, the B4 had their jocks, and just a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, it was built like a prison too. I mean, so it was like being stuck in jail with a bunch of angry inmates who all hopped up on steroids. So
it kind of my parents say it looks like a mental institution.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, when the inmates or the patients get out, they all flock across the street to the shopping mall, which is another kind of mental institution. But it's just a weird place to grow up, man.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I talked for a good portion of the show. I'm going to give you the last 20 minutes. So you deserve it. You were wonderful. I appreciate it.
I mean, it was good hearing you. I don't have much to... I never know what to talk about,
Well, you mentioned you had your own company. I would love to know about it. And how did you do your motion effects you were talking about in the beginning? And you can ask me anything you want, too. This is your time.
Okay. Well, I work with that guy. We do a lot of, the two of us usually do kind of like music video type stuff. I do more designing, animating kind of stuff. He's more of a producer, editor. My site is, it's odes.tv. It's currently down, but it should be launching early next week when I finish my motion demo reel. We do a lot of experimenting. It's one thing I like about the visual field is you can kind of do whatever you want. It's like make a thing. Hopefully it looks cool. If it doesn't, you wasted an hour. Try again. So the fun stuff is the stuff you get to experiment with. The not as much fun stuff as the client stuff. Like ads and pharmaceutical spots. It's not the greatest. But that's what I do.
So when you mean animation, you mean like the Dragon Ball Z, or you mean like Marvel?
I'm not that good. It's more like when you, like if you're watching TV and like something flies up and it has somebody's name on it, or like, the title sequence at the beginning or the end, or, all the graphics that introduce the show. I do that kind of thing. It's all the little things that nobody really thinks about, actually. Like the tickers at the bottom of the screen when you're watching the news. Like that kind of stuff. Like the little details.
Do you have like a green screen, or you're not like up to that?
Oh, when I lived in Georgia, we actually had built a green screen in our apartment. We had one empty room and set up a green screen and a bunch of lights and use that as our like keying room. We don't have as much room anymore, so we can't do that. But I do a lot of that kind of thing. Yeah. So if you ever want to make movies, always down.
Well,
It's
good. I
fun.
do have a lot of great ideas. I'd like to talk to you off the air. But was there
Yeah.
anything you wanted to ask me? This is your time after all. Or anything you want to promote?
Well, first off, congrats on having so many shows. I mean, this is cool. I want to say you're doing a really cool thing here, and I brought you a sign.
Oh, I appreciate it.
um, what do you so what do you do for fun these days? I mean, you got the show, and how do you spend your time? I mean, I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah, we should definitely hang out sometime.
Yeah, come down to Brooklyn.
Thinking about it, but I don't have, unless I can crash receive for a night or so.
Totally. Totally. We got a couch. It's good. It's IKEA. It pulls out.
Yeah, there you go.
Totally.
I work in retail, unfortunately, again. I used to work over, like I said, at North Face, but long story about that. I got sick out of my own stupidity. I can tell you some overtime. Took me a whole year to recover, and then I went to West Point. Give you the highlights. So, got sick. Took a year to recover. This was 07, 08. 2009, once I felt better, I went to West Point. West Point was offering custodial classes for people with disabilities. Say, hey, you want to become a custodian after the 6 weeks? You get a little, I keep busting this word, certificate.
Oh, yeah, like a certificate. Like
Say now
you're.
Say
Yeah.
now you're now certified to work anywhere in New York State as a custodian. Unfortunately, there was a tiny little incident, but they didn't want me there after. Make a story short, I was hanging out with my friend. We were cleaning the women's bathroom, and I had my back to him. What I didn't know was, and this is the truth, and everyone likes to make up their, oh, you instigated him, you provoked him. He hit his head, so all I heard was, and I turned around, he's wailing away on this wailing. I thought he was doing that to get a reaction out of me because we were joking around before that. And then I saw him, he was holding his head. It's like, are you okay? No, I just hit my freaking head. He said, I'm sorry. It's like, you sorry? You sorry? He grabs me by the throat, throws me up against the wall. And it's like, you think it's funny? You think it's fucking funny? I bang my head? And it's like, so,
Whoa!
So I said to him, piss off, clean the bathroom yourself. Oh, well, I was going to do that anyway. I started to cry because I was holding my throat in it, so like it would really hurt.
Yeah.
And since then, it's like, you had one incident, we don't want you here. So the excuse was they didn't get the contracts. Even though they didn't, that was one reason they didn't want me back. Also, I didn't feel like taking that bus, too. Basically, I had to take that, the occupations bus with the people with different needs. I had to deal with these type of people since I was a kid. I'm not saying I'm better than them. It bothered the hell out of me because I would see people, my sister's age, my parents' age, and I guess it bothered me because I didn't know how to react. Like, yes, I gave you guys respect. Absolutely, everyone gets respect. They stronger people than I would ever be. But it bothered me. And I couldn't do it. I'd rather cut my wrists than to be on a bus for an hour and a half or 2 hours because I couldn't deal with it. It bothered the hell out of me. I know that makes me a horrible person. That makes me a disgusting person. But
makes you human.
That's true. I'm just very sensitive when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if it comes off the wrong way to you and our listeners, I apologize. But I'm just being completely honest.
Yeah.
And so I tried working at Home Goods. They wanted someone who could do a custodian work. I had a job coach, and they were like, "Okay, do this and see what's like micromanaging me." So when I walked, she walked, and we walked, and I can't stand there while me do my work. Don't freaking hover me and make me uncomfortable. So that's what she did. Said I couldn't do it. I now work in blah blah blah. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
And using that to pay off the bills. And it's just that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is what we're doing right now. I've been doing this since 2004. I want my own talk show.
Yeah.
And make a long story short, uh, how I came up with the talk show was when I turned 21. People said it's your most special birthday. You have to do something. You have to remember, do something you gotta remember for the rest of your life. I said, okay, well, I am
Yeah.
handicapped. I do have a learning disability. If I have to die, I do have my health and my family, but if I have to die, I would love to have a couple of famous friends. I tried
Right.
talking to WWE superstars, TNA superstars, a couple of famous people, and all I heard was, we don't have time for people like you. We don't have time to deal with low lives like you. You're a parasite. Fuck off. This,
Really?
that. Everything you can think of, they said to me.
That's
And
horrible.
yeah, it was. And it's just, I came up with it recently. It's like, you know what? And there's a couple other things too that happened, but it's like, you know what? I have a learning disability. And this goes to show you if you want something right, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So instead of using my disability as a crutch, I'm going to start using it as a strength. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say, this is who I am. You're going to accept me for who I am. If not, there's the door.
Yeah.
And tell you the truth, that's how I came up with it. You're actually the first person to hear the whole story, how it all started with a birthday wish. And then it turned
Huh.
into a passing. And it's,
Man, yeah.
just turning myself into a perfect example, saying, hey, I'm handicapped, I have a disability. You're in a wheelchair, or you're blind, but you're still passionate about your goals? Do it. Don't let anyone
Yeah.
stop you, and just go and do it.
That is awesome. I got a lot of respect for you, my friend.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, wrapping up, do you have anything you want to say to your fans and listeners? Are you on LinkedIn, Stage 32?
I'm on LinkedIn as Sara Odez. And you can check out my website sometime next week. It's odes.tv or saraodes.com. I'm going to say Tuesday. But yeah, no, I mean, thanks for having me. This is cool.
Now, wrapping up the interview segment, and that's not your cue to hang up, I just want to say that first off. Wrapping up the interview
Now you're going.
segment, I just want you going on the record. I took this from Bill O'Reilly, so all credit goes to the factor. When I first approached you, going back to way back in high school, for the first time we met, to 10 to, let's see, you're a class of 2003, right?
04.
Oh, 04, so okay, so
That was
6.
12 years ago. Holy crap.
Actually, do you still have the yearbooks?
Somewhere. I mean, I haven't. God knows. Maybe.
Well, if you have it possibly, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I gotta find it
So,
somewhere in this mess.
12 years from the first time we met to 12 years later, we're actually doing this. What is
Yeah.
your honest opinion on me? What, after my rant of what I just gave you, but more importantly, when I first approached you about my talk show, what was your honest opinion? Were you hesitant? Were you kind of laughing at it, saying this kid high? Is he being serious? What is your honest opinion going on the record?
Let's see. First, I think it's pretty cool. I just you asked me about an interview, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Because I got a little bit of anxiety myself. I'm usually behind the
Right.
camera, not on the screen. So it was like, a little like, okay, I'm gonna be on camera. We're gonna. What am I gonna talk about? I'm gonna say the wrong thing. So I mean, this has been cool. So thank you for bearing with me. Um, I think it's great that you're doing this. Honestly, I got a lot of respect for you for, like the world tells you one thing and you say, fuck you guys, I'm doing it anyway. Welcome to my show. So awesome for that. Um, yeah, cheers. Congratulations. This is cool.
No,
Honestly,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's it. It's all props and awesome. It's a very
Wrapping,
positive thing. I
wrapping
think more
up.
people do this kind of thing. Someone says you can't, you do it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I don't
yeah,
mean to interrupt. I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything. It's Skype. It's freezes or locks up.
yeah, I'm just an awkward talker. I'm not if I'm interrupting you, sorry.
Don't worry about it. But wrapping up the interview segment, I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my show, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you.
Likewise, thanks for having me.